Welcome back to the Canadian Grand Prix. It is time for round 13 here for Division 1. And as you can see, it is round 13 and only 13 drivers here tonight. So it's the lowest attendance we've had so far this season, but we still can have some good action if there's 30 people. My name is Jamie Morris, and alongside me tonight is F1 Shorts, also known as Tibber. Hoe gaat het?
Yeah, I'm good. So we can see it's dry, unlike the Division 2 race yesterday in qualifying. And there are already two cars going out on track, and it's a Ferrari and a McLaren, I think.
Yeah, it is dry, unlike yesterday as well. So let's see then. These drivers should have the best experience out there in terms of having the overall grip around this circuit, because this circuit can be very difficult because it's full of high-speed corners, it's full of chicanes and hairpins as well, and you get so close to the wall on the exit of the corner too. You need to maximise every single part of the track, and the last two corners before the Wall of Champions is a make or break corner, because that's where you can lose or gain time as well. So you got to be very careful how you approach the final two corners as well. Full commitment, cut the corners as much as you can without validated. OWR Langfall is the first one out there on the circuit then. So let's see how he does in terms of his performance. He finished in 16th place in Langfall. Langfall, he does tend to have good pace, but unfortunately it just seems to be struggling recently. He has been around for quite a long time as one of Division 1. He's outside the top 10 majority of the times, but his commitment, his hard work is what we appreciate as well, because even though he's not the fastest out there, he definitely shows why he's one of the handy drivers, it must be seen. But Langfall out of the final two corners goes a bit deep in the final corner, so may have compromised his run already as we head down towards the main straight. DRS open, headed down towards turn 1 as he hits the apex very nicely towards turn 1. Now coming through turn 2. Just be very patient with the throttle, the exit of turn 2. But as you can see, just oversteers a bit wide out of the exit as we head down towards 3 and 4 then, as we saw Sebastian Vettel in 2019 have an excursion off the grass and unfortunately the FIA gave him a 5-second penalty, which was truly unfair and an absolute BS penalty in my opinion. Out of turn 7 then, with the DRS wide open as he heads on to the second straight then, as we head down towards turn 8, turn 9. This can be very tricky as well, because you want to make sure you're within the track limits, but taking all the amount of curb as you can through turn 8. And now coming towards this little kink at turn 9 as we head down towards the hairpin at turn 10. Heavy on the brakes there, in towards third gear, as we now be very patient on the throttle, the exit of the slow speed corner. Now we get back on the throttle once again with the DRS wide open. All the battery will be used on the straight as well. With only 13 people in the session, it could give those other people that don't have good results a chance to be up there into the top 10. Here comes Langford towards the final two corners. He goes with the DRS wide open again. The benchmark everybody will have to set is going to be a 10.4, and behind him, Jensen obliterates that.
Yeah, interesting ERS usage. I saw that on the onboard of Langfield. He only finished his lap with like 25%, as Racing Nomia goes first with 108.7. Nice lap from him in the Alpine.
Indeed it is. Then Mason has taken pole before as well, and his one and only pole this season. As Fireblaze goes quickest then, he is in a championship fight with Kaname, who is currently down in P7. It is super close between Kaname and Fireblaze. Kaname won his first race of the season in Japan, and unfortunately had a post-race penalty at the Qatar Grand Prix, and it pushed him down the order then. So Fireblaze may have a chance to get his striking distance of Kaname as well. And what can he do with the Canadian Grand Prix? This is going to be a very interesting tussle between these two. Which one of them has the true pace around here to try and beat the other? Here comes Kaname towards the final corners. Look at that, it's speedy carried through with a bit of oversteer on the exit. Here comes the RP towards the line. It's going to be an 8.686, and he goes quickest by under a tenth of a second, then beating Fireblaze, his main championship rival, and crucially, Fireblaze is in an Alpine sandwich as well.
This track is very difficult with track limits. We saw that yesterday in the Division 2 race, and lots of people had some penalties in the race, and that changed up the whole order with and Crossfire strikes. That's an amazing lap, 0.3 faster than the time of Kaname.
If I do think about it, Crossfire Strikes had obliterated pace at the Canadian Grand Prix last season, finished in P5, but I do believe rain was on the horizon as well because Bear Remy was the one that won the Canadian Grand Prix. His first win 2 seasons ago, then he took his final podium at the British GP last season as well. So Bear Remy has been on the back foot, won Red Bulls here, but his teammate, the champion, defending champion of SFR, unfortunately cannot make it tonight then. So it's only one Red Bull here as well, as BP in the room goes into 8th place with a 9.298, as we see Bear Remy then headed down the back straight, but he's not really on a representative flying lap because he's stored up a lot of EOS, and we know both Red Bulls like to go for consecutive runs on the same set of soccer part tires. He does pop that Red Bull into P11, but we know that's not really representative because he likes to do multiple runs to get a feel for the track and put some benchmarks down as well to try and beat. As majority of drivers then are back in the pit lane as we wait for the second runs then, as 6 minutes of this qualifying session has flown away, as we see then BP in 8th place, Crossfire Strikes in first.
Yeah, I think Bear Remy invalidated his first run and he might have gone for another outlap and went for a second run. So let's see what he can do. A little moment out of that chicane. Up to the hairpin now. Let's see how the braking is there. That looks pretty nice. And now the straight where you use the most of the ERS, and he doesn't use that much of it. I think he's pretty low on the ERS compared to what we saw at other drivers. The Wolf champions here, make sure not to hit that one. Up to the line, what time is it gonna be? It's 109.0, puts him up into P6.
I do believe Bear Remy is quite quick around the circuit because he was involved in the battle for first place. Him and Hurricane were chasing down the lead pack before a safety car came out as well, which really helped him get up the order as well, as they were out of the DMS range, both Bear Remy and Hurricane, because I think they were fighting with Kaneem as well at that race last season. But Laser is on his second flying lap, so he heads out of turn 2, now coming towards the right-hander in turn 3, in 5th gear, now towards turn 4, quick change of direction as we stamp on the lap pedal once again as we head down towards turn 6 and turn 7, where Brendan Hartley and Lon Stroll had their crash back in 2018. As we exit turn number 7 we go, Laser activates the DRS, Felipe Massa was spun here in 2011 when the wet conditions hit the circuit. As we now head through turn 8 and turn 9 we go, it validates on the entry there, and that is a quite common theme as well we see with people validated on the entry towards turn 8 I believe it is, as we head down towards the hairpin of turn 10 then. So Laser unfortunately invalidates, he puts that EOS into none as he will save the battery. Has he got enough fuel to go for one more lap on these soft compound tyres? That's the question. I think the answer may be yes, but Jensen is also invalidated too. He was a 10th up in the first sector, unfortunately for him.
Yeah, as we can see, it's like super difficult to stay within the track limits, but you have to be on the limit to get that pole position, and that's exactly what Crossfire Strikes is looking out to get. And I think he is on his outlap. Yes, he is. So we might see him improve his time again.
As we see now, Simon coming towards turn 3 and turn 4, but he did just complete a lap time and got himself an validation as well. So Laser is on another push lap. He's a few hundreds for the first sector as we head towards turn 6 and turn 7. As you can see, the red light on his MFD has popped up there, so he's running out of fuel as he makes his way down towards the second straight, coming towards now where he validated on the previous lap. Does he hook it up? He does, very nicely there, but not on turn 8. He was a bit hesitant on using the curves in towards turn 8. There only a slight dip on the curve, as Laser is currently 10th and a bit up in the middle sector as he heads towards turn 10. Back on the power, massive wheel spin there. I think they got the power a bit too early than the car's liking, and now the DRS is open as he uses all the battery heading down this back straight, where we might see some overtaking. Depends how people are feeling. If they're feeling brave and confident like MDJ did on the first lap against Lotchev Jr., Laser takes the final two corners very nicely as he heads towards the line. It's going to be P4 with an 8.7, but so far nobody is touching this man. Crossfire Strikes, who's on his second consecutive lap time, or shall I say his second lap, as Crossfire Strikes on a brand new set of soft compound tyres is headed down the back straight. Here he is towards the final two corners in 4th gear, 5th gear, hits the wall. He has hit the wall on the entry there towards the wall of champions, and unfortunately validates till the exit for good measure, and that lap time is ruined in the final few corners.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate for him, but there's time to do another run. maybe even 2, since this is one of the shortest tracks on the calendar, with also a very short pit lane. I think Dennis is on his lap in the Sauber. He doesn't have a time there on the leaderboard yet. So let's see what he can do in the first sector through this corner where indeed Brandon Hartley and Stroll crashed in 2018. This is turn 7 right here. Now coming up to the sector 2 split almost already, yeah. This corner is pretty difficult to stay within the limits. He does stay within the limits. And let's see what time he does in sector 2. 40.9. I'm not sure where that's gonna bring him.
As we continue aboard with Discus then, as he finishes off his lap time, DRS enabled in the final sector. He was close to taking Paul Qatar. He qualified in P5. Let's see what he can do here at the Canadian Grand Prix. He takes it very nicely there. He uses all the curb on the exit as now Dinescus makes his way towards the line. He goes up into P2, half a second or 3/10 of a second separating Crossfire Strikes and P2. So far, Crossfire Strikes is looking very comfortable in first place. The man in AMS, as Jensen has ran out of fuel as well, as we see other people there just invalidating their lap times as well, as BP in the room is heading towards the end of the middle sector. Let's see what the AD Motorsport driver could do. 5,000s down in the middle sector, and he is not an improvement then. Can he find time in the last sector, as we see majority of drivers then head off as the pit lane, but Remy is following the RB, or is that an Alpine in front of us? It's the Alpine, that's Kaname. So he's using Kaname as a tour, as a guide, to try and get him through the lap. If he gets too close, like right now, he might compromise his own lap time. We know Remy and Harry Kane work really well together to try and extract the maximum performance as well, because Harry Kane allows Remy to follow him to try and get the solution in DRS and try and put himself on the order, but Kaname's backed out as Remy is 400 up in the first sector, but he rides the curb too much, and unfortunately it invalidates there on turn 6.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate. It might have been because the Alpine, yeah, it wasn't the best place to let the Red Bull of Berami by. I'm not sure if that's probably not impeding, but it did distract the Red Bull, and that's why he invalidated his lap, as Crossfire is on the out lap again. And yeah, we haven't got many people on the track right now, but Drogon is on a lap, and let's see what he can do.
Indeed, so coming towards the end of the middle sector, OWO Dragon is 300s down in the middle sector. His last few races at the Brazilian Grand Prix and in Singapore have been quite good as well, and in Monza when he finished in P5 twice and a 9th place as well. But overall, OWO Dragon has been struggling, but he could capitalise and gain a lot of points here in Division 1 with only 30 people as Dragon negotiates the final 2 corners. Here comes this kick Sauber towards the line. What's it going to be for him? It's P7 just ahead of Jensen in the Mercedes, but I'm expecting a big improvement as once again Remy and Kaname set sail off onto another flying lap as they've... Oh, Bermy's almost spun the car. He saves it as he lost traction at turn 7, grabbed too much curb, and unfortunately sent his car off balance and the rear could not handle it. As we see Kaname just behind him as well. Here he is in the Alpine coming towards turn 8 and turn 9 he goes as he used the curb on the outside to lean on it, as now we head down towards turn 10 where we saw Robbie Kubica crash back in 2007, I believe.
And I was looking on board at Beremy, and he had a lot of wheel spin exiting the hairpin, and he probably has to end his lap there. The grid is very close from P2 to P7, only a 10th separating them there, or 2 tenths, sorry. But still, that's like a minimal gap.
Here comes Crossfire Strikes out to the final 2 corners as he carried his speed through. As he makes his way towards the line, he extends his margin by 5/10 of a second there. And what a mega lap time for Crossfire Strikes. Just like last season, this man is absolutely flying. But last season he didn't take the victory, but can he do it this season? Let's find out when the race comes. Laser, unfortunately, invalidates as well on his personal flying lap as Jensen is coming towards the end of his lap, and I think he's still in P8 though, unfortunately for the Mercedes driver. Maybe going for another outlap, it seems. He's 3 seconds down in the first set, so I'm quite sure if Jensen made a mistake in towards turn 1 or turn 2. Can be quite common as well, because in turn 2, heavy traction zone. You need to get the throttle without losing rear stability, of course. We saw Valtteri Bottas in 2019 when he spun on his qualifying lap as well and ruined his qualifying, because I think he started behind both Renaults on that day. I think Ricciardo and Hülkenberg qualified quite high back in 2019 in Canada. And yeah, so of course we all know what happened at the Canadian Grand Prix in 2019 when Sebastian Vettel took pole. There was a blistering lap time from the Ferrari driver. I do believe that's his last pole, the Canadian Grand Prix 2019, I dare say. I can't think Suzuka 2019, there we go. It was Suzuka 2019 where Sebastian Vettel took his last pole, and what a lap that was. But Valtteri Bottas was the one to win that day, as he had a mega start, jumped the Ferrari man, and Bottas went on to win in Suzuka as well. So I do believe Jensen is going for another flying lap in the Mercedes then, as he heads down towards turn 2. A slight lockup as he balances the throttle, as he gets back on the lap pedal once again as we head down towards turn 3. And turn 4 in fourth gear. Some people let me talk properly for once. Some people do like to take fifth gear through turn 3 and 4. It's all about preference as well, and your driver's style, and whatever you're comfortable with. As he now makes his way down towards turn 8 and turn 9. Let's see this one, because it can be quite difficult indeed, especially on the limits. You're on the limits as you head down towards turn 8 and turn 9, as you want to use all the curb available to you, as Jensen then is 4/10 up in this little sector, but he goes a bit deep in towards turn 10 as he's a bit sluggish on the exit of the corner then, as he gets back on the power, now with the battery in hand in his disposal. Can he be crossfire strikes? Can he get close to him as Laser goes up into P2 in the Aston Martin with an 8.599, but here comes Jensen towards the final 2 corners. He goes, aggressive turn in there, DRS open, touches the grass on the inside. Here he is coming towards the line. It's going to be an 8.6, and he's in P4 only for the Mercedes driver. Kaname is down in the first sector by 200ths of a second then. Where is his championship rival? Behind him in P6, currently on an outlap. So they're super close, Kaname and Fireblaze, and Laser too, because Laser is in that championship fight. He's currently in P2, but look at Kaname. Despite losing time in the first sector, he gains it back in the middle by a 10th in hand. Can he displace? Can he get himself into second place? We're about to find out now, as I don't think the lap time is good enough to try and get himself into pole, but there's a whole gaggle of cars in front of us, just like Pierre Gasly in the Alpine, who got compromised last season, qualified, but this time he doesn't get compromised as he heads towards the final corner. It looked a bit sketchy at the exit of the final corner there, but still makes it nonetheless. As he makes his way towards the line, it's going to be P5 only for him. He did not improve. He seems very frustrated indeed, as Fireblaze, Daniscus, as all the drivers that are out on the circuit, Fireblaze and P6 really wrestling that Ferrari as he heads towards the end of the first sector, down by a few hundredths of a second. Daniscus once again showing some great qualifying pace there in the kickstart, but every single driver out there except Bellamy in P9 as Daniscus heads down towards turn 8 and turn 9. He goes, let's see how he takes it. Very nice indeed. Leads on the curb on the outside too for good measure as he now heads towards the end of the middle sector. It's going to be 2/10 up. Daniscus is on an absolute flyer in this middle sector, but the question is, can he keep an eye on the whole top? Let's find out as well as he heads out of turn number 10 then on the back straight. Jensen currently goes up into P4. A great improvement for him in the Mercedes. He's in the pit lane. Lays is qualified in P2. He's done in qualifying as well. But Daniscus is the one to watch in P3. Here he is towards the final few corners. No!
Ooh.
He validates on the last corner, and that's a massive shame. But here comes Fireblaze. What can the Ferrari driver do? As he crosses the line now, he stays in P6. He can't improve, but Racing is getting a very good toe off the back of his teammate there, with the DRS wide open as well. So that's a very high toe indeed. Can Racing jump up the order dramatically as we head towards the final few corners of this racetrack? Can he keep it nice and tidy? He can. As we now watch Samid goes up into P2. What a great lap time. Here comes Racing is into P5. Look at the margins there, and the exact same lap time from P4 and P5.
Yeah, the margins in the midfield are like so close. The gap from P2 to P8 it is only 1.5 of a tenth. And Crossfire seems to be flying around this track. 4/10, exactly 4/10 his pole margin there. So will he continue his amazing pace in the race, or will his race pace be a bit worse?
What a credible lap time there for Crossfire Strikes. Like you said, can he keep it hooked for the race? Does he have the race pace to do so? Because his qualifying has been blistering. I remember back in Monaco when he took pole as well. And Crossfire Strikes is on pole once again. A circuit he does tend to enjoy because I commentated on him last season in SFR and a different league. He goes really well around here at Canada. Samit, what a qualifying for him in P2. A dismal race yesterday, but he's in P2 here in Division 1. Lace is in P3, Deniscus in P4, Racing, Jensen, Canane, Fireblaze, Draugen, 9th had a Beremy, Yusuf Farouk, 11th had a BP in the room, and OWR Langfall, who's currently occupying last place, unfortunately, but top 13 then. Let's see what happens during the Grand Prix. Will it be wet? Will it be dry? And it is dry for the time being, Tipper.
Yeah, it is an interesting strategy call here. For every driver, we saw the medium hards yesterday. We saw, I'm not sure who it was again, someone start on the softs, which could be a great strategy because the safety cars are pretty likely to come out. And talking about the championship leader, he is only P7, all the way down P7. Will he make a comeback somewhere to the podium?
Caname, he's like Burmeister. He's been very consistent in terms of picking up those podiums, but a bit of a ding-dong battle there between Caname and Jensen last week at Qatar. It got a bit rough, elbows out between those two, and I believe Caname suffered the fate of getting a 5-second penalty towards in the Grand Prix as well, as it was Crossfire Strikes who won at Qatar because he got swamped on the main straight by both of them. Then at turn 6, they went side by side, forced each other off the track, and Crossfire Strikes went through to win his first race since last season as well at the Brazilian Grand Prix, I dare say, because Crossfire Strikes has taken a win as well before here in SFR. A very quick driver indeed is a man who is in Alien and Motorsports. I know a lot of people as well that are in that team, AMS. I see a lot I commentate over a lot of people who are in AMS, so I'm no strangers to that name, but Alien Motorsport currently have good drivers on their hands as well, and I can't wait to see what happens during the Grand Prix as well. So let's find out and wait to see what happens here. It was the USA Grand Prix that Crossfire Strikes did win. I got confused between that, but it was USA, so I think I was correct last season. It was just an educated guess. It was either Mexico or USA, but Fireblaze was the one that won in Mexico. His one and only win so far in SFR is Fireblaze in the Mexican Grand Prix back when I made my one-off appearance as a racer, then a commentator. But 30 drivers then just waiting to press go, and hopefully we can get racing as well. Let's see then what happens going down in towards turn number 1. Let's see the trial strategies. Let's see what people have opted to go for. And let's just hope that it's a good race as well, because there is 13 people, the lowest attendance ever so far since seasons ago, like back in season 13 that we've had the lowest attendance. But sometimes, every single week we do have a bit of a dip. You can't always have the high life. You have to have a bit of a dip sometimes, but that's how it goes.
So we will see today if Crossfire can get his back-to-back wins after his win in Qatar. And there are the 5 red lights for the formation lap.
Let's see then what tyre compounds people have elected to go for. We saw mediums to hards, we saw hards to mediums, but it seems like the hard compound tyres are the most favourable around the circuit. But the tyre strategy yesterday, it was hards to mediums who won the Grand Prix yesterday as well. So I think that's the strategy to go around here, as it was for Lochio Jr. in the Aston Martin, who took the victory, but Laser has gone the opposite. Now, this happened in Qatar, and it also happened at the Chinese Grand Prix, where Laser went for the opposite strategy, and it didn't work in his favour. So let's see if it works today. But like MDJ, like Burmeister, he needs to try and take the lead away from Crossfire Strikes. He needs to jump Samid first, then try and take away the lead from Crossfire Strikes. Will Crossfire Strikes build a gap over a second ahead of Samid? Because Samid's qualifying pace has been really good, but in terms of race pace, that's when he does tend to suffer with the longevity during the distance of the entire Grand Prix as well, because obviously the fuel level the tyre wear, the tyre temperature, the change in conditions as well, and just management in general in terms of EOS. It all comes to play as well in strategy as well. So let's see then what happens going down towards turn one. Will Laser get the benefits of the mini compound tyres and get ahead of both of them? I remember Sebastian Vettel back in 2016 when he jumped both Nico Rosberg and Lewis Hamilton, but I'm pretty sure Hamilton went on to win the Grand Prix. Rosberg spun, didn't he, behind Verstappen at the final corner, and that's why he fell down the order, because he got pushed off the track in turn number one, did Nico Rosberg by Lewis Hamilton. But all 13 drivers then line up on the grid, and back in 2014, when both Mercedes had gremlins as well, Hamilton retired due to a BBW failure, and I think Rosberg just survived. When it was Daniel Ricciardo's first ever race win around here in Canada, that will never be forgotten. What a mega drive that was for Ricciardo. But here we go then, the lights about to go out. Look, but never stare at the panels. 3, 4, 5 lights. I can't hear them. But we are underway for the Canada Grand Prix as Samid, wheel to wheel with crossfire strikes. He takes the lead as we head down towards turn one. Crossfire lays the brakes, but Samid has the inside line in towards turn two. Gets better exit, but Laser's there. He makes contact with Samid. That puts him offline as crossfire strikes now. Oh, he almost lost the car. And through goes Samid. Samid takes away P1 again. And Laser goes around the outside. That's a big mistake there from Crossfire Strikes, who has been demoted down into P3. Racing now, putting pressure on him as well. So that's a big mistake. Crossfire retook the lead of the Grand Prix. And Samid's back into first place. Samid leads the Grand Prix for the first time since the Brazilian Grand Prix. Season 15. That's a long time ago indeed. As you can see, a few people there just flirting with the grass on the outside. Bellamy has lost a few places. He's been demoted down to P13 as we head down towards the hairpin. Jensen looking very interesting on the back of the Alpine driver of racing as we head out of turn 10. Then Jensen into an Alpine sandwich as BP and Deneskis has dropped down the order. He's fallen down into P13. It is spun.
Yeah, and he hits the wall again there while trying to get out of the traction zone of the hairpin there. As Samit still leads, sets the fastest lap of course, but Laser is on the faster medium compound of tires, and these tires will fall off. Oh, and there's another yellow flag for Dennis, and he's broken his front wing again there, the other part of his front wing, so let's hope he doesn't crash again and potentially cause a safety car. Crossfire, not the best start for him, and he has crashed again, Dennis, in the pit wall. I'm not sure what is happening there, but I was gonna say Crossfire not the best of a start, and the reason Baramy lost some places, I saw that at the back of the field, was exiting turn 6. He had a bit of wheel spin on the curb and lost the back end as the two Alpines swap positions, and Racing Nomia is looking to lose another place to Jensen in the Mercedes.
And here comes Laser to take the lead of the Grand Prix. Here comes Crossfire Strikes, and Samid has been pushed into P3 there. That's the power with the DRS as well, as both Alpines strategically swap places because Kareem is the championship leader. So crucially, he's up into P4 now ahead of Racing Nomia, and Jensen in P6 as Farblaze is in 7th place with BP in the room in 8th place as well. So now Laser leads the Grand Prix for the first time since the Canadian Grand Prix. Tedescus continues to have struggles out there. Not quite sure what his antics are, but he's lost his whole wing and he's about to be lapped as well. So his race has been ruined, and I think I know what he's trying to do, but I'm not going to say it just in case. But here we are then, lap 3 out of 35. Still a long way to go in the Grand Prix. Laser takes the lead with Crossfire Strikes in P2. Samid following in P3, and you can follow with the DRS as well. There is 3 DRS zones around this circuit, as once again the Sauber goes for a little bit of a off again in towards turn 9, where George Russell crashed in 2023 and lost and shredded his tyre and caused a puncture as well. But as we head down towards the hairpin we go, as they all file up and continue up as well. Let's see if Laser gets under massive pressure from Crossfire Strikes and Samid right behind as well with the DRS. Here is the rear wing open for the RB driver. Will he sail past? Will he bide his time and wait? Or will he go through it right now as Samid follows as well as we head down towards the final few corners we go?
Yeah, it's very close at the whole field except Dennis, of course, but everyone is inside of the DRS of the car ahead except Laser because he's leading. He's on the mediums, and we saw them fall off yesterday somewhere around lap 11, I think it was. Crossfire will be looking to take back the lead. Somewhere in one of the DRS zones. There are 3 DRS zones here. That's a track with one of the most DRS zones.
I think Australia holds that record with 4 DRS zones. Unbelievable around a track like that.
And the Alpines look like they could potentially take the lead of the Constructors' Championship with only one Mercedes in the points in P6 right now. That's Jensen. Not sure where the other Mercedes is, and Dennis has retired in the pit lane now. As Crossfire goes for the lead again, back to where he started in pole.
He definitely hasn't let that mistake phase him at all. Down towards turn 4, when he had massive wheel spin, headed down towards turn 3 there, as Laser and Samid went through. But luckily, no contact was made between any of them, as Beverly then puts himself into P10 ahead of both McLaren drivers, Yusuf Farouk, who did race yesterday, and unfortunately just suffered with a bit of damage on the first opening laps of the Grand Prix yesterday, as well as his teammate Yusuf Shabek was also racing as well, finished inside at the top 10 as well. But RB struggled yesterday, both Yusuf and Mr. Joker, as Deniska says, bro, my pedals were not working. When I tap, it goes full throttle. It's very head spider, Deniskas. I'm really sorry to hear that. Hopefully you come back stronger, because your race pace has been, well, your pace in general has been very quick, but yeah, you've just been unlucky at times. So do come back stronger, Deniskas. Don't give up just yet. But yeah, thank you for taking part today, and thank you for, of course, the safety car either, because that's what I thought that was going to happen when people fall back. But yeah, thank you for tying the pit lane, and thank you for continuing with us. Now, back towards the front of the field with all these guys bunched up as well as we head down towards the final few corners. I spun like 360 times on one straight, says Deniskas, as we head down towards turn 1 we go. So both Alpines playing very smart, because they're backing Jensen and Fireblaze up, because now racing is in P5. He is able to keep Jensen and Fireblaze behind with the DRS to back of Canave. So this is fantastic teamwork with both RP drivers. They've worked really well together so far this season. The finishment of racing Nomiya and the Puerto Rican of Kaname in P4 working really well together as well. So both Alpines have been doing a lot of teamwork, and it gained them a lot of points in the championship as Samid in the Ferrari. Now Samid can do Fireblaze as solid and try and keep Kaname behind. So despite both RPs in P4 and P5, there's still a Ferrari in P3, so we've got people in different places on the track here. So it's going to be very interesting how Fireblaze plays this out. He's behind both RPs, and we know it's quite difficult to overtake as well around here in Canada, especially with the big DRS trades as well. So how's Fireblaze going to play this out with Samid in P3? But here comes the RP that can aim. So I presume that Fireblaze wants him to defend, but Samid gives up quite easily, and he doesn't repent that attack, and Kaname's up into P3.
Yeah, Kaname is on a comeback drive after starting back down in P7, and there's a yellow flag, and BP in the room has crashed in the Wolf Champions, and that makes a safety car come out, and we will see everyone on mediums probably pit, and this is bad for everyone, like almost everyone starting on the hard compound of tires.
I think a safety car as well ruined Crossfire Strike's strategy last season, and Jensen's as well, because they had to do, I can't remember what they did, but I think they had to like go for a very long stint on one set of hard compound tires, whilst other people could go towards the end. I think Crossfire and Jensen had to make one more stop, but yeah, safety car mixed around a lot of things, as that's our first retirement on the track. It is BP in the room, who was crushed in the final corner, where Damon Hill, Sebastian Vettel, Michael Schumacher, and plenty more of champions who have crushed there before. The last person I remember crashing one of the champions, you don't really see it nowadays, but I think Kevin Magnussen is still the last person to crash in the Wall of Champions in 2019 in qualifying, when he had to start last and complain about his race car not being very good either. So we don't really see a lot of people crash there. We do see people tag the wall and make contact with it, but in terms of crashing overall there and losing the whole of their car, we don't really see it. But I think these people there might switch onto the medium compound tires. Would it be hard, medium? No, the guys on the hard stay out, so that's what I was expecting. I was just seeing if they're going to split the strategy, because it's too early to pit. But what I was thinking they were going to do is go from hard, medium, do that strategy. But no, it's still the regular hard to medium instead. So it extends their still on the hard compound tires. But the people, like you said, who started on the medium compound tires are going to go on the hards, and they ideally, it is a bit too early, I dare say, but ideally they can go towards the end of the hardcore part ties. Let's see if that strategy pays dividends towards the end or not.
Yeah, this isn't a track with like massive tire wear, so I think they could manage it to the end on these hards. But the people who started on the hard combative tires just have to hope for another safety car so they can get a free pit stop too.
Yeah, because usually the advantage swings in one way, but when another safety car comes out, the advantage swings their way. The pendulum keeps on swinging, depends how many safety cars come out as well. So just bear with me, as I'm trying to do something, but I don't know how to do it, even though I've been doing it for a long time. So just bear with me for a second. We might get somebody else here in the party, Tibber, if that's okay with you, because there's only 13 out there, and he's a very experienced commentator too, so having three of us with extra knowledge.
And the safety car is already in this lap, so that's interesting.
I really do apologise to the racers out there as well, because I know that could be distracting for them, so just apologise about that. But the safety car is coming in. That's a very early... it usually says out there for a minimum of 2 laps, but that's only one, isn't it? That's very strange and bizarre. As Daneska's just joined back for some reason. But here we go then, as the safety car is coming in towards the end of this lap, as we have Energy Dan now accompanying us in the party. It's like the good old days in SFR. But Crossfire Strikes goes a bit deep in the final corner. So does Kaname there, almost scraping the wall, as Samet is right behind, ready to take advantage as well. As we see Jensen right behind the RP driver, as we head down towards turn, we go side by side with him, but not fully alongside. But Kaname, Racing has defended from that, and Jensen goes back down the inside in towards 3 and 4. Is there going to be contact? No, there isn't for the time being, but Fireblaze, will he take advantage? He doesn't. He stays in P6. But yes, Energy Dan is in the party. Good evening, mate. How are you?
Good evening, mate. Yeah, I'm alright, mate. I actually deleted my message. I thought you said Libby was with me. You put it as Tibby is with me, but I read it as Libby is with me, so I thought you had someone with you, but obviously not. Unless... Is Libby with us?
No, Tibber.
So Tibber is with you. Right, okay then, cool.
F1 Shorts. F1 Shorts is Tibber.
Evening. I genuinely thought you were on your own.
No, let's stay. 3 of us. Yeah, it could be 3 of us.
Okay. Threesome, I love it.
Oh, God. So this should be interesting then, because we've got only 11 drivers now in this race. Attendance has been poor, Dan, so I thought, why not? 3 of us in this party to talk about something.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Sounds good, mate. I love it.
Like the good old days, isn't it, in SFR? With 3 people, on comms. I don't know how you did it, by the way, with 3 people on comms every race.
It was good. It was good. Back in the day.
It's like Alex Jakes, Jolly Palmer, and David Coulthard when they do their 3-way trio comms.
Yeah, apart from the people that we had were less annoying. Sorry, did I say that out loud then? Oh, sorry.
I can't remember who the commentators were back then, so I'm not quite sure or familiar, but yeah, I'm not quite sure who it was. So as Energy Dan is in the session then, we see Crossfire Strikes is under pressure from Kaname. So the situation is, Laser is on a brand new set of hardcore power tyres. The safety car has paid dividends for him. Well, I say dividends not just yet. Depends how it all goes in the second half of this Grand Prix. But Laser is on a brand new set of hardcore power tyres because he started the mediums. And here comes Kaname now for the lead of the Grand Prix. And this is crucial against his championship aspirations against Fireblaze then, as he's now taking the lead of Crossfire Strikes and he puts himself into first.
Yeah, it's still quite a long way for Laser to go. I don't think that the tyre delta and wear is going to be a big factor around here. You can get away with it, so I'm not sure that's going to pay off for him. You know, he's got, what, 24 laps to go. How long has he been on those?
3 laps only.
3 laps, actually, yeah. So I think he's going to be suffering towards the end, to be honest with you. It'll be nearly, 25 laps by the time he finishes, so... Yeah, he might not actually see the benefit of those fresh tyres. He needs to get a move on now, really, and get a few positions up, and try and get on the back of these 7, 6, 5, and 4 place cars.
I think the most important thing is, Tipper, that if he stays in this DRS tree and the guys ahead later on will pit, and he'll have like a 18, 90 second advantage if this DRS train stays as it is and no safety cars come out.
Yeah, Barami could even play a factor in this race. If he overtakes Yusuf, as Crossfire takes back the lead again from the Alpine of the championship leader Kaneem.
Does indeed. There's a Crossfire Strikes now takes the lead of the Grand Prix. Fireblaze sets the fast up the Grand Prix. Now Laser does on his brand new sets of the hard compound tyres then. So Laser, I think in this phase, he can be patient as long as he don't go for any crazy dive bombs, doesn't break up the DRS trade. Although if he does break up the DRS trade, Samit is the first one in the field to get a 3-second of time penalty. But now I think Laser in this second half of the Grand Prix, I think as long as he stays in his DRS train, he's okay. Obviously, he wants to go for moves to get himself along the order, but in terms of the longevity, just try and keep up with this DRS train, make sure it's not split apart. And if somebody does break up the DRS train, then he can move forward and overtake them and get himself back in it with the tyre advantage. I think Mason as well in P4 is quite close to losing DRS there, Tibber.
Yeah, that could be interesting. And I just went through the race director to see everyone's warnings. Crossfire is on 1 strike, then it's Kaneem 2 warnings, and you have Laser, probably the net leader. He is on 1 strike too.
That was I don't know if that was pun was intended there, but that was a good pun for Crossfire Strikes.
It was a good pun. I just realised as well, we've also got Barimi and Langfell on relatively new ards, try to track down Yusuf Farouk. Now that would put him on the back of Laser. So at the minute, Yusuf Farouk has been a bit of a cork in the bottle for Laser. So that might be we might actually see the rear of this pack be the front of the pack at the end of the race, depending on how the pit stops go. So let's just keep an eye on that as the race unfolds.
And I don't know if you saw that, but the Salvo driver spun. I think you were about to say that, Timmy, weren't you?
Yeah, I was. And as Laser goes through him, interesting. I'm not sure if you could get a penalty for that.
I don't think you will. I think it's okay. You're allowed to do that. It's just part of the game system, really. But yeah, so the reason why Drago was a go is because he half spun the car in turn 6, I believe it was, and I think it was Yusuf Farouk or Yusuf Shebek who did the same thing, and that's why he was a ghost in Division 2 yesterday as well. So they did the same thing.
Yeah. So here's just a clarification on that rule, Tibby, is you are allowed to go through a car that is ghosting if they've had a half spin, but if the car suddenly unghosts and you hit them, it's on you. That's the rule.
Okay.
So you can do it, you proceed with caution, basically.
Yeah. Jensen and Langfield have gotten a 3-second time penalty for track limits. And who will be the next one?
Oh, and Racing gets super close on the exit of turn 4, scraping the wall. He's got a whole gaggle of cars of Jensen right behind and Fireblaze too. So Racing is under massive pressure so far in this race. And Jensen and Samir, the big hitters, and also Jensen picked himself up a 3-second penalty last season as well in Canada. So he's not really good around here in terms of time limits. Blistering pace from Jensen for the man who is in F2 now for PSGL as he's putting the pressure on Racing, who is barely hanging on by a thread. As every time he makes a mistake, Jensen's on the back of him. But this time, Jensen goes a bit deep in the corner, turn 10, but that doesn't give an opening for Fireblaze to go through as he stays behind for the time being. And here comes Jensen with the battery. Is he poised to make a move now to get past the struggling Alpine of Racing Nomula as he's derated down the straight, but he's not going to go for it just yet. It's unwise to do so in the final 2 corners. Lap 14, lap 35 then as we round on board with Jensen too far behind to make a move for the time being. Racing just holds on there, but Samir is doing a really good job in P3 considering that the last few races for him hasn't been that great either. He has been really struggling in this game cycle, but here in Canada he's looking alive so far as we watch the top 2 get super close. Kaneem and Crossfire Strike, so you can definitely tell that both of them are struggling just a bit there, Tibber.
Yeah, Kaneem will be looking to overtake Crossfire again for the lead, probably on the straight to the final chicane maybe. That's the longest straight on this track. So let's see if he will go for a move there. He is using his ERS already. He saved everything, Kaneem. But so did Crossfire. So everyone is on pretty high ERS, except Racing Nomia and Samat. They are on only 40.
And Daniel as well. I think Lazy is in a really good spot here as well. He's about to overtake Fireblaze. He puts himself into P6. He's behind this train. And once these guys disappear in the pit lane, the gap will be like 19-20 seconds as well. They have to gain a lot of time.
But then the worst thing is, of course, if someone does a commentator's curse and says a safety car could spoil it all.
Yes, a second safety car could potentially hinder Laser's race. It's looking good for him so far in P6. It all depends, though, how good his tyre punishment towards the end of the race is. Maybe the safety car came out a bit too early for him, but at the same time, he has got an advantage as long as he keeps up with this DRS train as well. Doesn't go for any crazy move, brake his front wing, etc. But talking about that, Beremy might have cursed him as Berry's gone for a spin at turn number 4. As I think yellow flags are the worst thing that can happen to Laser right now. Oh, safety car, sorry, Tipper.
Yeah, Laser just has to keep it within the white lines and just save his tires while staying in the train. So it's not that difficult of a race for him, but he also has to watch out nobody crashes into him. So that would break his front wing and cause a safety car. That's the worst case scenario for him.
Ganane gets past Crossfire Strikes for the lead of the Grand Prix. Easy pass there, but Jensen, I don't know if you saw that, made a move with the inside towards turn 10. Goes a bit deep in the corner though. Samid also losing his rear just a little bit there as they step out as the hard compound tyres get older as well. And here comes Laser. He's being very conservative so far. He's not going for any sort of crazy lunge. He's planning his coordinated attacks at the right time as well, making sure that maybe out of turn 2. Oh, he's getting so close there because Racing Nominal is struggling. Remember, he's one of the drivers when it comes to longevity. He does tend to drop backwards during the Grand Prix. Samit's right behind there on Crossfire Strikes as we head down towards turn 6 and turn 7. But Rising Star and Racing Nominal are those people that struggle during the longevity of the Grand Prix because they tend to drop out the DRS train as well when the tyres get older because they can't seem to manage it unlike other people as well. So watch out for him late on this Grand Prix. Oh, he got a penalty, unfortunately.
I was gonna say something. Yesterday we saw the people on the hards pit around lap 18 it was, 19. But I'm expecting them to stay out longer today because their only hope now is a safety car, so they will try to extend their stint maybe until like lap 25 as Crossfire takes back the lead again.
And Laser takes away P5 as well as he's getting good momentum out of the final few corners. Racing Nomala, unfortunately, is dropping backwards there and he's in the clutches of Fireblaze. So Fireblaze needs to make a move on the Alpine as Jensen gets so close down towards turn 1 as well against Samid. Samid as well doing a fantastic job in this race. What's going to happen, do you think, Daniel, towards the last stages? Because when these guys pit off the hard compound tyres, they're going to hunt down Laser. But the question is, though, can they do it?
I think they can hunt him down. It's if they'll have the enough. I think will Laser have enough tyre to defend? Because I do think those hard tyres will be not screaming, but they won't be at their best. And these guys that pit off the hards will have pretty fresh mediums and a lot of acceleration at those corners. So it's going to be touch and go. I don't think Laser's in contention to win this. He might claw back a P3 after he defends like a bus. But I could be proven wrong, but you know, 18-ish laps to go. It's going to be touch and go, mate. This might be Hungary all over again.
It is indeed then, as we see that back in Hungary when Hamilton hunted down Verstappen, as Hamilton went on the 2-stop, as Verstappen went on the 1-stop in 2019. And here comes Samit right behind as Racing Nomala has pitted to get off those hard compound tyres as we head down towards turn 1. Was it Alex Albon in 2023 when he defended against all those guys? Because that straight line speed on the Williams was streamlined, very good indeed, and he kept those guys so far behind despite being on older tyres. That Williams was super quick in a straight line here in Canada as well.
Speaking about Alex Albon, he also did an amazing overtake. I think it was just squeezing between two cars in the final chicane there just before entering that.
Yeah, that was a mega move indeed, especially in the damn conditions as well, because I remember when Webber, Button, Hamilton and Schumacher all battled in Canada 2011. They all went off the track, some of them, especially Mark Webber, fighting against Marco Schumacher. But Dan, I'm very curious about your opinion. I think it was you that said Button didn't deserve the win here in Canada 2011.
What, after he did 6 pit stops?
but
not really, no. Because you could apply that to any race where the safety car plays a part in it. Someone who pits 6 times and still wins a race, it's I think not deserving it is one thing, but being very lucky is also another, mate. And he got very, very lucky. Nothing, well, put it this way, nothing he did that day as a driver made him win the race, in my opinion. Discuss.
It was a long time ago, so I don't know the full details of it, but I remember him taking out Fernando Alonso. I remember him and Lewis Hamilton in the pit wall together as well. I remember Sebastian Vettel spinning at turn 6, at turn 7 as well when Button took the lead. But 2011, though, was an underrated year for Button. He finished second in the championship as well.
And
Yeah,
while we were talking about that, Crossfire has pitted, not to forget to mention that.
Yeah, he has. On the bonus mini compound tyres, he disposes Langfell very quickly there. So Crossfire Strikes has pitted onto the mediums then. This will trigger a lot of people to go in the pit lane. So I think the top two might consider pitting. Let's see. Here comes Jensen for the lead of the Grand Prix with the DRS open. How long will he extend? Jensen still continues. Kaname still continues. As in the pit lane goes Fireblaze. Now Fireblaze, I expected him to pit because he's stuck in that DRS train as Laser takes away P2 now ahead of Kaname. I don't think Kaname thought that because he knew the inevitable was happening. So there's no point defending that to lose time. As Crossfire Strikes gets a 3-second time penalty there, and that can be detrimental towards the end of the Grand Prix. How will that affect his race towards the end as Kaname gets scraping the wall at the exit of turn number 4 that was. But Dan, there is 15 laps left to go, and Lay's got to do about 20 laps on his hardcore power tyres. That's going to be a struggle.
Yeah, that's what I'm claiming, mate. It is going to be a struggle. I still think it's touch and go, but 14 laps left, 13 laps left. I genuinely don't understand how it's going to play out, because the guys that pit will have super fresh mediums, he's going to have super worn hards. This is literally a toss-up. Who's going to get this? I do think the medium runners will come out on top. Just maybe P1, P2 will be a medium runner. And I think Laser might hold on to P3. That's still my claim.
So Kaname has stayed out once again. Hungary, Belgium, those races where he stayed out, but it was a bit too late because he lost a lot of time because he didn't have the laps left to try and catch up towards Jensen and Rise and Star at the time, and also AMS Bobby when he's trying to hunt him down for the lead of the Grand Prix Hanazara. So let's see how Kaname's strategy works as racing sets fast for the Grand Prix. Where's Fireblaze in all of this? He's in P9. Does he get the undercut on his own teammate? Let's have a look to see if he does. But it's going to be close with both Ferraris as Samid still around the outside there. The undercut did not work for Fireblaze as he's still in P9.
And Laser has gapped Kaname there. So Laser just has to manage this probably, unless Crossfire has an amazing pace or there is another safety car, which is also an option. And last lap we also saw Dragon have a little spin in I think it is the exit of turn 8.
Yeah, I did see that too. So he did have a spin at the exit at turn 8 and 9, and the Salvo dropped himself outside the top 10. He has pitted for bonus medias, but Savage struggling there. So I think Fireblaze, will they be a team swap because they're holding each other up? As I think here comes Fireblaze with the DRS now, as Samit does not repent that attack as he puts himself into P8. Racing and Jensen, they swap places. Jensen puts himself into P5. Beremy is in P3, but we know he spun earlier in this race as well, so he's a net P2 for the time being then, but he's going to be hunted down, like a dog towards the end of the Grand Prix as Crossfire Strikes is 3 seconds behind him. So, guys, there is 12 laps left to go in the Grand Prix. The gap between Laser and Crossfire Strikes is, let's say, 16 seconds, because that's 3 seconds penalty, unless Laser gets one. I think, like you said, it's going to be super close, but I actually don't know if he might do it or not.
Well, I'll tell you what, let me look at Race Director, Crossfire Strikes, view lap times. So, Crossfire Strikes, last lap time, last full lap was a 1:10.951. Let's call it a 1:11 dead. Yeah. 1:11 dead. Laser's last lap time on the worn hards was a 1:12. That's a second a lap. Yeah? So that's 13 seconds just in lap time alone. Bearing in mind, Laser's going to get slower.
Yeah.
He's going to get slower. So if you put leader on, he's already in P1 Crossfire Strikes based on the 13, or apart from the penalty. So call it 15 seconds then, and he's closing. It's going to be tight, very tight.
Look at Langfell coming through. Sorry to interrupt, but look at Langfell coming through. That's the only old hard compound tyres against Sammy's new medium. Sammy's struggling here, and here comes... Oh, they make contact almost in the wall, like Lewis Hamilton and Jenson Button type shit. But now we're going side by side as we head down towards turn 1. Kaname, the championship leader, is there in the background too. He has fallen behind both Ferraris, but he's on the offset tyres. He's put himself on the offset strategy to have the better tyre advantage. How is Ferrari going to play this out? Because Ferrari, they have track position. Will Fireblaze give Sam a DRS to protect himself against Kaname? Because it's an advantage for Ferrari so far in terms of track position. But in terms of tyres, Kaname's got the advantage. Let's see how this plays out, because I cannot wait to see the battle between the championship leaders.
What I was going to say was Crossfire does have that 3-second time penalty, so when he potentially gets by Laser, he does have to get like a 3-second gap there, unless Laser gets a penalty, as he gets by Beremy pretty easily.
I still think it's going to be tight. I mean, you've got... it's now, what, call it 10 seconds. Look at it's coming down so quickly. 9.9, 9.8, 9.7. He's just eating away at those temps. Like I called it. It's going to be probably 3rd place for Laser.
Langfell gets a penalty in the Grand Prix as well. Beremy's in P3, but Jensen and Racing Nomula will take him on easily. So I'm curious about the strategy between both Ferrari drivers, because I know they're both in a party together because I was just there. Same with Timur as well. And Fireblaze is in a championship fight against Kaname. Kaname is on the better medium compound tyres. So I think it's wise for both Ferraris just to swap places on the DRS straight there. Try and keep Kaname behind at all times if that's possible. I'm not quite sure if it is or not. So that's what Ferrari are doing, because they went out the picture. They're falling down dramatically as well. So Racing Nomula, Jensen have pulled away from this gaggle of cars. So I think the wise thing to do for Fireblaze now is to try and make sure he takes points away from Kaname. Focus on the guy behind, because there's no point focusing ahead because they're well far behind now.
Oh, I'm just looking at Jensen's closing as well on those tyres, and he's only got 3 seconds. I think it's going to be. I think Beremy might actually win this.
Yes, what?
I think Beremy might win this.
Oh, sorry to interrupt, but these two are side by side. Samid versus Kaname, as Samid is off wide towards turn. P7 now is in between both Ferraris. I'm surprised that these two didn't really work together, Fireblaze and Sammy, because this is very crucial for the championship fight, as Fireblaze now is under massive pressure from his rival behind as OWR Jarl gets the penalty. But back to your point, Dan.
Yeah, look at Beremy closing on the back of Crossfire Strikes, who's got a penalty, and he's going to use the back of Crossfire Strikes to pull him along to Laser. Crossfire Strikes has got the penalty. Beremy's got nothing. Oh no! Sorry, Jensen now. Jensen coming through. Right, okay, that's spoiled my opinion then. Right, cancel that. It's going to be tight at the front though.
The gap is 8.2 seconds between Crossfire Strikes and Laser. This is intense pressure, because Laser knows he's being hunted as Kaname gets past his championship rival and he puts himself into P6. But have the offset tyres for Kaname worked in his favours, because he's got a lot of catch up to do to get towards his teammates and Remy and Jensen and Crossfire Strikes. So the gap to lead between Kaname and Laser is about 30.4 seconds, and the chase is on for the lead of the Grand Prix. Who is going to win as OWR Dragon sets the fastest up the Grand Prix? It's going to be between... I'm stating the obvious here, but obviously I don't know. I really don't know, because can Jensen catch up towards Crossfire Strikes? Jensen does have that penalty. It's just the penalties that might decide this Grand Prix as well, I think.
Yeah, just like we saw in Division 2 yesterday with... who won a track again? I forgot, but I know the P2 man on track got the win there without a penalty.
Lucio Jr.
Oh yeah. Then I was gonna say Crossfire Strikes has already gotten another second out of that gap. It's 7.3 now, and I'll see what lap times they are doing. It's for Laser.
Yeah, I mean it's getting super tight. The amount of lap time that he's chewing up has got less. Before it was like a tenth every half a corner, so to speak. It's settled down a little bit now, but he is still gaining. I reckon by lap 33, he's going to be on the back of Laser.
Also,
Yeah, so
as
it's
well,
gonna be
the tyre
very
advantage for Laser. Oh, Remy struggling. You can see that massive oversteer. And Remy has got no grip. I'm just worried about the drop-off for Laser. How good is his tyres management as well? I don't think he'll pick up a puncher, but I think his tyres will get so old, he might lose a lot of grip, and the drop-off will be dramatic, I think, for him. But this is going to be so close between Laser and Crossfire Strikes. The gap is 6.5 seconds between those two, with Jensen following in third place there. Remember, Crossfire Strikes and Jensen have a 3-second time penalty. This could be the repeat of Qatar last season, or season before, sorry. Oh, Laser, big moment of the final corner there. You can see the rear end of the car is stepping out. Can Laser survive? There is 6 laps left to go in this Grand Prix. The nerves are kicking in. Mistakes are starting to happen. And Kaname gets another 3-second time penalty, and that's 6 seconds. No, it's his first penalty, sorry. Ignore that, it's his first penalty.
So just remember, guys, it doesn't matter where Laser finishes on track. He just has to finish within 3 seconds of whoever is in first place. Because second, third, fourth, and fifth all have 3 seconds. So it doesn't matter where he finishes, as long as he finishes 2.999 seconds behind P1.
Yeah, but the tire wear might really kick in, and then it's going to be very difficult to keep that car within the white lines, as we see both Alpines swap positions.
Indeed they do. That's crucial there, because we know that Racing is struggling for the time being. He pitted to go for an early pit stop. Burt Kaname with the better medium compound tyres is ahead for the time. But I think Laser, I don't want to put the commentator's curse, so I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to say anything whatsoever, but all I'm going to say, it could be Laser's first win of the season.
Got it. I know what you're going to say, and I think he's got it, mate. I agree.
Do you agree, Tipper? What do you think? What's your opinions?
I think it's going to be very close on track, but with the penalties applied, it's going to be Laser.
Laser's last win was at the Hungarian Grand Prix. That was his first win of the season, first win in a long time. Oh, contact between Samid and Remy there, and Samid forced his way through on the Red Bull. The Red Bull being ragdolled, unfortunately, as he's been demoted into P8 there. Both are always up to P6 and P7. So you can definitely tell that Remy's tyres have dropped off the cliff. He's got a 3-second penalty, so no podium for him, unfortunately. But Laser, can he survive in first place? The gap is 4.7 seconds. The gap will continue to go down lap by lap. But when the guys catch up, if they catch up, they need to overtake him first. I don't think Laser has any defence to be given, unfortunately for him, because of his tyres getting very old and old. But at the same time, though, as long as he can keep that gap under 3 seconds, sorry. Also, making sure he does not pick up a 3-second time. I am so nervous for Laser, because Laser has been around since Season 4, Season 5, a long time ago. He's been around the league for 4 or 5 years. He is a champion here at SFR as well, about Season 15, I believe it was, as here comes Fireblaze. No, Season 14, I think it was. Fireblaze now goes up into P5 ahead of Racing Nominal as well. But Fireblaze is ahead of Racing. But here comes Samid now, following his teammates as he puts himself into a 6th place he goes. Almost, because there's the Alpine, who's still fighting, but has nothing to give for.
And Crossfire has gotten another second out of the gap to Laser with last lap that was, so it could still be getting close, but Laser just has to keep it within the white lines, just like the winner yesterday had to do. I keep forgetting it.
It's alright, it's a hard name to pronounce anyway. But Samid almost lost it out there. Did you see that?
Yeah, big lock up for Laser as well, coming to the hairpin, so he had to keep it under wraps there. But you could just see now Crossfire Strikes in the background as he comes out of the hairpin, coming down this long straight, approaching the World Champions, and they can now start picking up the slipstream from about 3 seconds back. So this puts Laser under pressure.
Oh my goodness me, my heart's beating. There is 4 laps left to go, and the advantage so far is Crossfire Strikes has better tyres, but Laser does not have a 3-second time penalty, as the safety car works well in the favours for Laser, as other people did join him on the medium compound tyres, but the 2 who joined him on the medium compound tyres unfortunately couldn't make them work. But Laser so far is eking them out. You can definitely tell that he's hesitant and tentative as well. Every time he turns the steering wheel, every time he goes into a bigger zone, every time time he accelerates out of the corner, the car seems wanted to be stepping on him as well, because there is no grip left on those hard compound tyres. They're absolutely chewed up. It's all about surviving in the last 3-4 laps of this Grand Prix. The gap's closing down to 2.8 seconds there. I think Crossfire Strikes might catch up on the track, but in terms of the penalty, I think Laser might just be able to do it. Oh my goodness me.
Can you imagine his heartbeat right now? Can you imagine? Oh my god, I'd be just sweating through my sweat glands, and my sweat would be sweating. Oh, I'd be a wreck right now.
Yeah,
Laser on 1 strike right now, so he still has kind of a second chance for if he goes off the track once.
And both Ferraris there swap places as Sammy is ahead of Fireplace. Both Ferraris in the second stint admittedly have dropped off as well, and they broke the DRS train, so unfortunately both of them did not have the pace despite Sammy's amazing qualifying as well, as he took the lead as well on the first lap of the Grand Prix but fell backwards ever since. 3 laps left to go, and Laser heartbeat is going through the roof. The anxiety, the pressure as well, knowing he's going to be hunted down. What about the tyres as well? Can they hold on? Because Laser knows one slight slip up is a big mistake, because the tyres are unforgiving. This track is unforgiving as well, so be very careful how you take the curbs as well, and how you manage to take the curb as well, and how you accelerate off them as well, because if you take too much curb, or if you take the wrong amount of curb...
1.9.
1.9 indeed, he's almost in DRS range. There is 2 laps left to go in the Grand Prix. The anxiety is going up as well through this race, and Laser, he has to make sure he doesn't pick up a 3-second time penalty. That's the advantage Laser's got so far. The gap is 1.8. Laser needs the best drive of his life, but the tyres are getting too old, unfortunately, for him. Oh my goodness me, you see the amount of curb he took there as well, as Crossfire Strikes hit the wall out of the final corner.
Look at Jensen.
Yeah, he's been hunted down by Jensen. Here comes Jensen. Will he take the lead in the Grand Prix? No, will he take second place away? As here he comes on the inside. He does. He takes P2 away. But what if these two start trading DRS and get towards Laser? But I think Laser's got this covered. Sure, there's 2 laps left to go.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He's got that 3-second buffer, mate. It really doesn't matter. As long as Laser stays penalty free, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I don't think Laser will lose 3 seconds in 1 lap. But I think for the wise thing for Laser to do is not fight these two, because I don't think he has the tyre grip to fight these two. Otherwise, he might spin out.
I've actually sent him a PS message in. Hopefully, he's got his notifications on, and the message. It was 1 word, all in capitals with exclamation mark, calm. That's all I sent him. Hopefully, he sees that on the screen, because that's all he has to do is stay calm.
Exactly, as well. I know the situation.
I can't right now. He should, but I can't stay calm right now. This is like, woo.
Do you know how big this is for the championship as well? If Laser does finish in first place, that would be big for the championship, and that would bring him right into the championship play as well, with Kaname in P4. And Fireblaze might get Kaname, you know. He's 2.7 seconds behind, so watch out for Fireblaze. He could get Kaname.
Jamie, it's the last lap of the race!
I thought I saw a bit of rain there, but I don't think it is going to rain.
No.
Maybe you see the Mercedes rear wing? It's full of dirt. I thought there was rain there.
Don't give me that attack, please, mate. Come on.
So these guys are finally in the DRS range, but Laser just needs to bring his home. Don't do anything stupid. Don't do Sebastian Vettel on the last lap in 2011 as he spun out in turn 6 and turn 7. Don't do anything dramatic as well. Just let these guys go and bring it home.
Well, here's the other thing as well, Jamie. You've got to say to Jensen, Crossfire and Kaname, chill out. There's no point making silly mistakes by trying to do dive bombs and stuff, because it can wreck it for all of them. I think, but I mean, you're not going to just sit behind someone, but the best thing to do is sit behind Laser. I mean, by overtaking him, all you're going to do is give the person behind you the opportunity to overtake you. So I personally would just, I don't think any of these are going to make a move. I think it'd be silly. And he is. Oh, there you go then.
Jensen makes the move, but in a conventional overtaking place, as here comes Jensen the final corner, but the spotlight goes towards this man. Laser hasn't had a win since last season on the Hungarian Grand Prix, but Laser wins the Canadian Grand Prix after a fantastic strategy, going from mediums to hards. The safety car paid his favours. He managed to make the strategy work. He kept the tyres alive as well. What a fantastic, calm, collected drive from Laser, despite being almost in penalty territory as well. What a fantastic drive. Laser finally gets his first win since the Hungarian Grand Prix in round 3, I believe it was, or round 4. What a fantastic drive. And Jensen and Crossfire Strikes are on the podium here as well. I think the driver of the day has to go for Laser for sure.
Yeah,
100%.
amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so glad that he's finally got his first win. It's taken a long time. The last 2 races didn't go as well. Didn't go his way, sorry, because Qatar and I think at the Brazilian Grand Prix, you had contact going down towards the first few laps of the race as well. But Laser kept his calm, kept his composure, kept it on the track, making sure he didn't pick up any warnings, and this will bring him right back into contention for the championship as well. There are your classifications. It is Laser who wins with a fantastic drive to finish in first place. Jensen in P2 ahead of Crossfire Strikes. Kaname in 4th place. So the offset ties did not work for him at all. Fireblaze and Sam in P5 and P6. Racing in P7. Yusuf in P8 ahead of Dragon and Langfeld 10th. And it's a double points for McLaren as well. Great drive from Langfeld in P10. Remy 11th. And it's a double DNF for BP Navoom and Deniscus as well.
Only 2 people without a penalty.
Fireblaze and Laser. Imagine if a safety car came out as well. Unbelievable. But yes, well done to Laser. Finally gets his first win. I'm so happy for him as well.
Yeah, so am I, mate. It's a long time coming for Laser. His race pace is up there. His qualifying's been shocking this season. He's not the best qualifier. He used to be better, but this season he's just not found the form. But he's always there with race pace and normally very consistent. So to actually see him take the win tonight, as I'm being commentating as well, is like yes, it's brilliant.
I bet he's very happy as well that a safety car did not come out in the second stint of the Grand Prix, because that'll put the cat amongst the pigeons. That'll put everybody back towards the medium compound tyres as well. As I think Laser would have had 2 sets of mediums at his disposal to go from hard medium medium or medium hard medium. As we now have the drivers in the podium interviews, Laser and Jensen, and hopefully Crossfire Strikes will join the podium interviews as well. Crossfire Strikes who missed on the podium, and so did Jensen last season as well at the Canadian Grand Prix. But here we go. Oh, I tagged the wrong person. It's not Fireblaze. Who did I tag wrong? Laser. Sorry, I'm not used to seeing Laser on the podium. But anyways, I'll tag.
Oh, cheers,
I'll
mate.
tag. Joking.
Oh, I know.
What's your language as well, mate? I'm joking.
Oh, that's cool, mate.
But anyways, we'll start from Jensen. Don't want to waste his time. So Jensen, mate, welcome back to the podium here as well at the Canadian Grand Prix in the desert. Not the desert, so I don't know why I said that. But welcome back to the podium interviews, mate. And talk us through your race, mate. How do you think that went for you? Because you did have that 3-second time penalty early doors in the Grand Prix as well, and you're fighting with the likes of Racing, Salmon, Kaname, and Laser, but still managed to get up there into P2 and took the lead on the final lap 2, hunted down Laser.
Yeah, a bit annoyed with the pen, but I mean, I was like on the edge of getting a 6-second pen at the end, so kind of lucky as well. But yeah, Laser did a really good job from the safety car to get those odds to the end and keep away from the pen they used as well. But yeah, the racing was good this week. But yeah, I think I pitted at the perfect time, I think, looking at how it ended, because Crossfire ended up getting held up, and then I came out in like the perfect pocket of air, and then everyone else came up behind Remy, ended up getting stuck behind her about 4 seconds down the road. So yeah, that gave me a few and gave me a good buffer behind to at least hang on to the podium, but I managed to get Crossfire as well. So yeah, pretty decent.
You got past Racing as quickly as you could as well, because he was struggling on the medium compound tyres that were older. And like I said, Beremy held up a few people as well. So when you finally got up to P4, you were left alone. And I did not expect you to get Crossfire Strikes, because you got in the DRS. You were slowly. We were talking about Laser the whole time, but you in the background was slowly but surely catching Crossfire Strikes for P2 as well, and that helps you get P2 in the end after overtaking Laser as well on that main straight. So you did a really good job today in terms of pace, but like you said, that 3-second tablet cost you, but it is a track that is brutal for track limit warnings as well. So yeah, P2 I think was the best you could do today, and you did a fantastic job.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's not just that, I think it's the tyre smoke as well gave me a couple, because that's like, yeah, really annoying. The tyre smoke in this game, but I mean, I'm not going to use that as an excuse. I still would have had 3 seconds just from general track limits. But I think it's because I pitted 2 laps later than Crossfires. I had like a good buffer on the tyres there. Like after the first few laps I thought I wasn't going to catch him, but I started slowly eking the gap and I managed to get in the DRS with a few laps left. I managed to get him just before I got to Laser, and yeah, pretty solid result I'd say.
We've always known you've had good race pace. You've had 3 wins, and now you've got 5 podiums this season. And there is 4 races left to go towards the end of the season. Now, we know that you haven't really been around in the last couple of races as well, hence why you're further down the championship than expected. A few DNSs in the last coming races in China, Monza, and also in Japan as well. But what's going through your mind? Do you think the championship is still there for you? In the last 4 races, do you have any hope, or are you just focusing on one race at a time?
I mean, the guys like Kaname, Laser, and Fireblaze, I think they're just too consistent. They show up every week and they get the result. To be honest, I haven't really been focused on the championship. I'll just come here to have a bit of fun, have a good race. And yeah, 99% of the time, that's what happens. So yeah, that's what makes me happy, and if that's what happens in the last 4 races, I'll be happy with that.
Because I thought that you was a real contender for the championship this season, because in Mexico you had that double inter, which was the wrong strategy, but the game did put you in that double inter. Then after that, you were on a winning streak, 3 wins in a row, and you were leading in Belgium until you split out at turn number 1. But yeah, it's just that I thought you had a big chance of win the championship this season, but obviously, like you said, you had those DNSs and other people have turning up as well. So I think if you do turn up in the last 4 races, it's all about fun really, and see where you end up.
Yeah, more or less. I mean, yeah, it's just a load of IRL stuff colliding, unfortunately, and sometimes, yeah, I've not been feeling too great. So, yeah. See what I could do for the last 5 races. I mean, if I get in the championship battle, then I get in the championship battle, I guess. But if not, I mean, yeah, it's what happens.
Well, thank you very much, mate, for your words, and congratulations on another podium as well here today. Well, there's 2 other people to party with me, which is Tipper. Tipper, you got any questions for Jensen?
Maybe something about the constructors. Do you still have the championship's hopes in that?
I've not really looked at the constructors, to be fair. I mean,
you are leading.
I mean, we are leading. But Alpine are strong with Kadeem and Racing. So, and of course Remy and Harry. I mean, Harry wasn't here tonight, but yeah, Alpine and Red Bull, they're got 2 strong pairings, so it's gonna be tricky to hang on to that. But looking at that, we might just try and go for that.
And Dan, you got any questions for Jensen?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to be a negative Nelly, but tonight you was on 138. You've just obviously got a good haul of points, but so has people like Laser, Firebase and Kaname. It could have been better if you were winning tonight with the other guys being further behind. I know the guys have asked you tonight about obviously the championship fight, and you've also said that you're just here to have fun, but if the situation arises, you'd go for the championship. Do you realistically think that you've got a chance, unless a few people have big mistakes? And I don't want to sound like a negative Nelly, but 138 to 170 in P3, that's a big gap, isn't it?
I think it's 160 if it's I think hold on.
I mean, you were on 138.
I'm about 40 points off the 44 points off the lead.
So it's a big ask.
You are right though. To be honest, realistically, it's only if guys like Laser, Fireblaze, and Kaname have like 1 or even 2 bad races. It's like the only realistic chance they could be in the championship. But
yeah, I mean, so to kind of cushion that absolute horrendous question I asked you, I will give you this cushion. The best way, in my opinion, for you to finish this season is be on the podium the next 4 times. So that's your aim. Get on the podium the next 4 times. Doesn't matter about winning, just get on the podium 4 more times, and that'll be the strongest finish you could ever wish for. In my opinion, you know, it probably won't be enough to win it, but that'll certainly put a stamp on next year's game coming out, that you finish strong and that you're here to to make it harder for these guys at the front to do what they do, I think that'd be a great way to finish this season, mate. So if that can be your aim, go for it, mate.
I mean, I could see that happening, but not in the next 2 races, the 2 USA races. I think I'm probably gonna be mathematically out of the equation after those 2, to be honest. Yeah, they're like my 2 weakest tracks. So
yeah, me too, mate. Me too.
not
but saying that though, half the field will feel like that because they are. Oh, do you know what, I'm gonna swear they are shite tracks.
Yeah, but even if I do end up doing well at those tracks, you also have, like, let's say, Caname, Laser, and Fireblade. They've been so consistent this season, so it's gonna be really difficult. Like, if I was gonna be in any realistic chance and they didn't have any mistakes, I'd have to win all 4 races. But I don't see that happening. I could probably see the last 2, but not the next 2. So, yeah, I mean, I'll take what I could get.
Well, thank you very much, Jensen, indeed, for your input, and congratulations on second today. And good luck to you in the next upcoming races in USA and USA. But we move on to the man who finished in P1. Laser, your first win since the Hungarian Grand Prix last season, and coming into this race, we saw yesterday that the hards to mediums was a better strategy, but that safety car came out at the right time, at the right place at the right time for you, as you were on the medium compound tyres, pitted to the hards. Then the chase was on. What was going through your head? I bet your nerves were all over the place as well, because it was so intense, under so much pressure as well, trying to keep the car within the white lines, trying to keep the car on the track, considering the hard compound tyres was dropping off as well. How was your nerves? Your heart must have been beating so much.
To be honest, I would say I was quite calm until last few laps when the other 2 were coming, but I knew they had a penalty. But I left about 10% every lap on the table of pace because I didn't want to risk picking up 3 seconds, and it worked. I probably could have gone a little bit quicker, but I didn't want to risk it.
Yeah, good strategy, mate. Good strategy.
I saw the 2 had 10s.
Laser, congratulations, you win, mate. I'm going to jump here, Jamie. Jamie, I just noticed something really interesting in the table. Until Laser got his win tonight, the top 5, the only person to have a win was Caname. P6 Jensen has 3 wins. 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th in the standings had 0 wins to their name. It was only Caname in the lead that had a win. So Laser, you now join Caname, who's leading this title charge. You both have a win each, and it's super close at the front now, mate. Do you think you can push on and basically take this to the end with a good fight in trying to grab the championship?
I'm going to do the best I can. My philosophy is going to remain the same. I want to remain clean no matter what. Do my best, hopefully pick up consistent results, and if they're quicker, they win. If they're slower and they collide, I'll hopefully win. But I'll have to see. I'm going to give it all I've got for certain. Because I know Caname, for example, is faster than me overall, but we'll see what happens. Anything can happen. The gap's close.
Is it about to be now, Dan?
Yeah, mate. Sorry, go on, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, so Laser, I think you're well and truly involved in the championship, and you've already explained to us how do you think the championship's going to go down in terms of them being slower or you being slower or better, etc. But the championship's getting real now, mate, and there's 4 races left to go. You've been in a championship fight yourself before. You've won a championship, I believe, in season 14, I think it was. Yeah, it was, against MDJ and Hurricane and Glock at the time. But you've experienced being in a championship fight. Does the experience of being in a championship fight in season 14 help you in season 17? Because you have a bit of knowledge, you know how to approach it as well, and we'll see how your experience goes with it in the next upcoming races.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very calm with it. So that's just who I am. I'm quite calm. What will be, will be. I'm trying to win, but I'm not going to try anything stupid for it. I'm going to be clean, continue, pick up points, and hopefully I can win. But if someone else wins and they're better, I don't have a problem with that.
This has been a bit of a weird season because, not a lot of people this season have a lot of wins in terms of people being at the top of the championship. Canade's got 1 win, you've got 1 win, and the rest have got 0, while Jensen has 3, being in 5, I think, in the championship ahead of Nordis. But yeah, it's been a bit of a weird season. And last season, it was Hurricane who fully dominated. Like, you tried so hard to get Hurricane, but here this season, like, it's all been about consistency as well. Like, literally, this season has been about consistency because no one has really dominated, has they? Other than you've got like Volokongan, Oscar, Piastri, Oscar, sorry, and Hazara. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been close. I don't really know what's happened to Harry this season. I'm sure he'll be back soon, but I think the race he won last season, he wasn't dominating, but he's just ultra consistent. And I don't know this season, he's just not been as consistent. He's got the pace, but I don't know. You'll have to ask him what's happening at the moment, but I'm sure he'll be back.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Hurricane, who had a fantastic, tremendous season, because I also used the words. He didn't dominate. He was just very consistent, and he was very methodical, very calm and calculated as well. And he just managed to win the Grand Prix, even though on paper it looks like he was dominated, but he didn't. He just very, very consistent indeed. But this season, I don't know, it's been a bit of a weird one because like you don't really have a championship fight, whilst majority of the guys don't have a win, if that makes sense. Or some people have one win only. So that's been a bit of a strange season though, but we like it. It's full of unknowns, but I really hope that for the last 4 races, things go well between you, Fireblaze, Kaname, Jensen, and other people if they get involved too. But how are you feeling for the next upcoming races?
Well, what are they? I'll have to have a look.
USA, and there's 4 more. There's USA, Netherlands, and Great Britain.
Last 2 I like, the next 2 I'm not the biggest fan of. I don't think I'm particularly slow around Miami or
Vegas.
What's it called, Vegas, yeah. But I just don't like the tracks. But I do like Netherlands and Silverstone. So it's a mix, but I think that's what would go with everyone. I don't think anyone really likes Miami, for example. So I wouldn't say I'm particularly great at them, but I wouldn't say I'm terrible at them either. So it should be a good end though.
Well, thank you very much, Dazer, mate. It's nice to see you get your first win since the Hungarian Grand Prix. Your first win this season. You joined Kaname as well in terms of one-time race winners this season and Harry Kane. But the championship fight is well and truly alive between Kaname, Fireblaze and Laser. Laser's going for his second championship, believe it or not, as well this season, while Fireblaze and Kaname are going for their first. But Fireblaze hasn't won a Grand Prix yet this season, so he's still going for his first win of the season, believe it or not. That's how ridiculous the championship is. But Tibber, before we round it off, have you any questions for Laser?
I was gonna ask the same question as you about if next tracks are like good for you, but I don't really know any other questions. We've asked a lot to him.
Fair enough, mate. Fair enough. I think we'll round it off here then. So thank you, Tibber. Thank you, Energy Dan, for the commentator tonight. It's been absolutely amazing having 3 of us commentating.
Yeah, been great, guys. Thank you. And nice to meet you, Tibber.
Yeah, you too.
And we move on to the next race then. It is the Miami Grand Prix. We've moved down to America. It will be the Miami Grand Prix. Join us back next week for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday. Well, not Thursday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday for 7:30 for Division 2, 1 and 3. I don't know who the commentators will be because it's all mixed up so far in terms of commentary. But I do know one thing for sure. I'll definitely be there. But I don't know who my partner will be. It changes every week, my partner. But we'll see you all next week.